Come and see how good I look.
Unique New York. How now, brown cow. Everybody, I have an important announcement to make. We are doing a shootout. Everybody listen. Please listen. I have an important announcement to make. We are doing a shootout. Through a ton of searching and digging, we have gotten 8 cars, 2 seats, 4 seats, from a Maverick R to a Pro R to a Speed to a TurboR to a YXZ. We had a KRX coming, but a day before, electrical issues. Honda Talons, I swear they just don't exist in this country. But trying to find one of these things with stock suspension and stock motor and stock trans and no clutching was crazy difficult, but we've got it, and we've got 8 cars here showing up, and we're gonna do a shootout. And when I'm talking about a shootout, we are doing a proper shootout.
I come here for a shootout, right? A proper shootout with some proper men.
Because we're trying to just get a very unbiased opinion.
We just want you to drive with keeping a review in mind. So we have 15 factors that we're looking at today, 5 of which we can hard number test. And so those are not the things we're gonna ask you to do today. We do have 10 categories that we're asking everyone to be mindful of as they're driving the car. So keep it at a reasonable pace because we're trying to get you to have a, like he said, an unbiased opinion. So we're looking at power, brakes, suspension, handling, the chassis, the creature comforts, fit, finish of the car, and then at the end of the day, if money wasn't an option, which car are you buying? You know, best to worst. I'm just going to go over the categories. Everyone's going to get a sheet for each individual car. They're going to be completely anonymous. We'll put it into a spreadsheet at the end. We'll get a calculation out. Brakes, the brake performance. Some of these cars have better brakes than others. We just want you to test those, test them out, see how they feel. Suspension, we've broken this into 2 categories. We have high compression, low compression. Obviously, how it goes on the G-outs, how it goes at low speeds. So keep that in mind as we're going about.
Here we go with the suspension test. We are going to test for high compression and low compression, every driver, see what one has the best suspension.
Really? You think so?
I think that's gonna be hard to beat.
Okay. I mean, I don't have to wear out. Yeah. So Maverick R's first.
All right, brake test. We were going 50 miles an hour and then slamming on the brakes when we get to the cone, measuring that out, seeing what the distance was there. Also, everybody is gonna drive the cars around the track and see how they feel as far as their driver feel, and opinion based. So fact and opinion here.
Right.
93. 93?
Oh. Yeah, it did.
That's like YXZ curves. Yeah. Bad braking by me, I don't know. Brake actually feels soft. I thought you were braking late. You know, I mean, if I brake like 92 longer, 94. 94?
94.
I like how Jalen backs up. Yeah,
55?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is legit. We're not screwing with anything. I mean, those are, we still have the 4C Pro R to do, but that's double the Maverick R.
Oh, jeez. One more. One more.
Oh, no, we still have a can. We still have
Oh, and the extreme. Okay.
They all ended up about the same?
They're a little off. But she just beat the Pro R. 91.
That thing slid. I don't know. Maybe it's the tires.
91.
91. Oh, that stopped quick. Very good.
This one actually did pretty good.
Yeah?
I think I did maybe touch the brakes a hair sooner, I feel. Hard to know, driver error on that.
87.
Oh.
It's like 3 feet better. Okay.
I don't know what's like. Can-Am's actually doing decent in this category.
Yeah. What do we get?
Oh, yeah. 95.
95. All right.
Basically the same as the 2C, a little bit worse.
Oh, really? That's surprising.
That concludes our segment for the day. Let's go put the...
We'll give you the results here in a second as Bo does the math and calculates what one did the best. And then stay tuned and subscribe to the channel so that you can get the results on all of the other things that we reviewed with these 8 cars. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please support us. Help us out to make this an epic shootout. So we have brought a very wide range of drivers out here today. We've brought guys such as like our YXZ guy and our TurboR guy, right? It's their first side-by-sides ever they've bought. And then you got me, I just like to buy them and then drive them and fill the track, but I just stink around, right? We're just average Joes. But then we bring the man, Josh.
The man.
He got 4th in Best in the Desert. I think that's something to write home about. So we have what I would call a very wide spectrum of drivers. We got some people that have legitimately built their cars, raced, and I would say 4th place, you've taken it serious and you know what you're talking about and know what you're doing. That's my point. So we have this really wide range to show you guys, you know, it's not just a bunch of race car drivers, but it's not just a bunch of guys that just bought their very first side-by-side. Kind of got everything in between. So overall, what's your #1 car?
The way they're formatted today, and the way they all operate today,
Yes.
the Pro R4.
Okay. And what's your #1 favorite reason about that car?
The power and the brakes, and the comfort, as far as the suspension goes.
Okay.
It works really well. It's got a lot going for it. And with some tuning, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's an impressive car.
it really is.
And for it being a long car, it just doesn't feel like it's as long as it really is.
No.
So, what's your #2 car?
Speed car.
Speed. And what's your #1 favorite thing about the speed car?
Suspension.
Suspension.
Yeah. That car has a lot going for it. It's the downfall I found with it was the brakes.
Yeah.
And I got to looking at them and it makes sense.
Okay.
It's a heavy car and it's got little brakes.
Yeah.
But I know they have an upgrade for that.
Yeah.
It could definitely have a little more snort, a little more power to it, but from what I understand, that's coming.
You know, if you get your speed key, then you'll have some snort.
Yeah. I think that car has so much going for it. It's a really nice piece. Just looking it over, there's not many things. There's a few things I pick out that I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot going for it.
I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I kind of have it like, You know, it's either like, I feel like an 8, 9, or a 10 out of 10. That dude is just grabbing gears.
Yeah.
With that speed, to me, it's just very like, it either like wins in a category or it's almost dead last in a category, kind of a thing. There's not much middle ground with it. So if you can just get a couple of those dead last spots, move them up here, then you just have an amazing car.
Absolutely.
And brakes, that's one of those #1 things. It's pretty much the worst car out there in brakes, but upgrade it and then now you have a really capable car.
For sure.
Here are the results for the suspension and the brakes.
I know that the factory brakes have got to be better, so I'm gonna take it in and I'm gonna have to put that in the comments. But my brakes are terrible, and it didn't give people the confidence in my car, in the speed car. And I think we would have ranked a lot higher if there was more confidence. People felt like they could confidently drive into the corners and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we're just going strictly off of stock to stock car. We're having 2 seats here, 4 seats here. The whole reason we got this weird selection of random cars, 2 seats and 4 seats, is you can only buy a Maverick car in a 2-seat, right?
Yeah.
But we can only buy a Speed and a 4-seat today and get one today, right? So we tried to mix the two.
Yeah.
And especially at our track, the top 7 winners on our track so far, it is 4 2-seaters and 3 4-seaters.
Yeah.
So this track really doesn't favor 2 to 4 very well.
I was shocked at how well the 4-seat Pro R handled this track.
I thought that big of a car would be tough.
I'm not gonna lie, that was insanely surprising to me. So there's a lot that came out of this. I mean, ultimately, I think there's kind of a butt for every seat. And I think ultimately when people go into this, they're probably gonna favor their car over any other
Well, I think
car.
everybody's going to favor their own car. That's why they bought that car, right?
But
So.
the fact that we got to drive all these other cars, I love that. I love being able to, I've always wanted to drive a Turbo S. I've always wanted to drive the TurboR, and always wanted to drive the YXE. We've teetered of buying that car several times, you know. So now we know.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool experience to get out here and be able to do all that on such an amazing track. So, and it was a beautiful day. There was wind. We didn't have a lot of dust in our face, so it was awesome.
We have a baseline.
We have a baseline, and that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to create these baselines, get some different opinions, and a lot of people are wondering which car to buy. You know, so the sport's growing, and it's an exciting time to be a part of the sport.
And that wraps it up for us. You stay classy, Desert SXS.